There are times in everyone's life that molds them into the people they are today. This was one of those times. I was living in the country with my husband, who traveled a lot. I raised birds, canaries, finches, and cockatiels. I had a large screened-in porch that was raised off the ground about 3 feet. I had just gotten back from visiting my husband and went outside to take care of my birds. There was a large double entry to the aviary to prevent the birds from escaping. I had gone through the first door, and as I entered through the second door, I'd noticed there weren't very many birds. As I looked around, I noticed a large, at the time enormous, snake resting on the top perch. I had never been a fan of snakes, but this sent me into a panic. I very slowly squatted down and backed my way out of the second entry. As I examined the situation, I learned the snake had eaten at least 4 of my birds. There were 4 distinct bumps in his body. That was his problem. You see, he had come up from the bottom of the cage through 1/4-inch wire mesh. Now he couldn't get out. My problem was I was sure if I didn't kill it, he was going to come into my house. I was way out in the country. Nobody was around, and my husband was 1,000 miles away. It was up to me. I went into the house and got the pistol. I had used it before to kill snakes, so I knew to put in the correct bullets, the ones that shatter on impact. I also know that it was not smart to shoot up with the wall right behind the target. Creative thinking came into play. I got the Windex and went back outside, armed with a pistol and Windex. As I stood in the first entryway and the protection of the first cage, I shot the snake in the eyes with a Windex. It was enough to get him off the perch. Phase 1 done. Now I had to get inside the cage and use the pistol. This did not appeal to me at all. I was sure he was mad. It was at least a 3-foot ball. I stuck just my hand in the cage and began firing. I hit him with the first bullet. He kept moving. I fired again, more moving. This went on until I emptied the revolver. He was still moving. He had 6 holes in his body, and he was still moving. I went inside to reload, and my dad called. I explained what was going on, and he was the one that informed me that snakes will continue to move long after they're dead. What did I know? Now, I had to get him out of the cage. He wasn't moving anymore, but I wasn't going to touch it. I got the hoe from the shed and stuck it in the cage. I was still in the first part with just the hoe in the second. I tried and tried to pick it up, but he kept sliding off. I had to twist him around like spaghetti. As I flung the snake away from my property, I realized I may very well be able to do anything I set my mind to do.